Looking back at early Singapore and Malaysia, we imagine the Tamil population arrived as a single, cohesive demographic. History tells a much more complicated story. Between 1870 and 1930, immigrants from South India and Sri Lanka were deeply divided. They didn't see themselves as Tamils. They identified by their specific castes, their home villages, or their specific trades. These divisions defined society. The Sri Lankan community, for instance, often functioned as a separate administrative class, living lives that rarely intersected with the broader South Indian workforce. This fragmentation came with a heavy cost. Because there was no collective identity, the massive contributions these people made to the region's infrastructure were failing to register in the official historical record. Muthu Thambi Pillai saw this erasure happening in real time. He began work on a manuscript titled Malaya Manmiyam, or Glorious Malaya, to change the trajectory of that history. Pillai's goal was structural. He intended for the book to serve as the thread that would stitch these disparate, broken factions into a single, recognizable people. Early Malaya relied on a workforce of invisible factions. This book was the primary attempt to make them visible as a unified community. The book nearly vanished before it even reached a printer. After Pillai finished the draft in 1926, a friend borrowed the only copy and promptly lost it. Pillai spent the next decade rewriting the entire volume from memory. He finally published it in 1937, intentionally aligning the release with the coronation of King George VI. But as the Second World War engulfed Southeast Asia, the book disappeared again, effectively erased from circulation for the next several decades. In the modern era, Professor Veeramani began an international search to recover the text. He tracked down the first half of the book in a university collection in Malaysia. Inside a quiet London archive, Veeramani pulled the missing second half from the shelves, completing the puzzle thousands of miles from where the search began. The need for a new edition was clear. Some scholars had already begun using fragments of the text in their own work, without ever acknowledging Pillai as the original author. The book's survival is a testament to its own resilience, overcoming a friend's negligence, a global conflict, and academic plagiarism. The recovered text is sprawling and eclectic. It contains ancient world history, up to the specific horoscopes of the British royals, including Edward VIII. At its center, however, are the detailed biographies of 127 pioneers who provided the labor and leadership that built the region. Pillai consciously ignored rigid Sri Lankan elite boundaries, documenting everyone from wealthy South Indian merchants to the common laboring class. These pioneers map directly onto Singapore's physical geography today, providing the names behind landmarks like Malaya, Handy, and Veerasamy roads. This mirrors the work of the ancient poet Ilango Adikal. In the Silapatikaram, he used literature to synthesize the idea of a unified Tamilagam from separate warring kingdoms. Malaya Manmiyam engineered the very community it claimed to describe. It provided the intellectual foundation for a unified Malayan Tamil identity. By 2019, the Singapore bicentennial, the book faced one final hurdle: the high cost of a modern reprint. Mr. M. Balathandatham and the Singapore Tamil Youths Club took on the financial risk, ensuring the project reached the public despite limited funding. The impact was immediate. The actor Sarath Kumar traveled to Singapore specifically because the book preserved the history of his grandfather, Ramasamy Nadar. These 127 pioneers represent the massive workforce that built the region. This history provides a necessary counterweight to narrow narratives focused only on colonial officials. History often defaults to the lives of a few colonial leaders, slowly erasing the diverse crowds and laborers who physically constructed the city. To prevent this history from slipping away again, the text must be translated and studied globally, ensuring these names remain part of the public consciousness. A unified identity is never a natural inheritance. It must be built, written down, and protected against the constant threat of being forgotten.